This conference will now be recorded.
Great. Okay, yeah. All right. So I hope I'm clear. Okay. So we will start. The basics of Splunk. Okay. I mean, like, see, almost for I would say 1 week, almost 5 days of classes. We will have very important discussion. Maybe it is a basic understanding of about Splunk, but it's really important. Okay, this basic knowledge will actually help us to understand the entire Splunk course. If we don't understand properly what the basic things are, how what is the importance of Splunk, how is performing in the market, these sort of things. If we don't understand, and going on, like you have Splunk components, and you have installation of Splunk, all these things uh, I mean, are really important at the beginning. Slowly, we will get into real time scenarios, and I will show you how to install everything, and clustering and all that. We'll be learning accordingly. So, point that I'm trying to make is basic classes. Maybe 3-4 classes we will have. They are really important. Okay. Quickly, I will just take this through available tools in the market along with Splunk. Obviously, as we, I mean, spoke about this yesterday. Just to reminding, see, I am what I will do here, if I done with the class today, what we will do when we meet in the next class, 5 to 10 minutes, first 5 to 10 minutes, I will revise whatever we discussed in the previous class, so that you also have a better understanding. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Accordingly, we will go. So point here is, मैं जितना बोलता हूँ, it is not matter. How much you are understanding, how much you are getting it is what matters actually. If you don't understanding anything, I mean, you will let me know. You let me know. We will discuss this 3 times or 4 times. Not an issue at all. Okay.
Okay.
Available tools in the market is, like, we know this: Sumologic, Logly, Greylog, and ELK. Okay, these are the other tools available in the market, along with Splunk. They are not equal to Splunk as the file performance are concerned. Like Sumologic or a Logly, any of these files, if you take, they don't deal with all kind of file formats, all kind of machine data, whatever. So they have a specific file format that they deals with, and it is not as accurate as Splunk. You might take a lot of I mean, the other tools, Logly, Sumologic, these tools will take more time to give you the accurate result, whereas Splunk, you can get immediate result with an accurate an accurate result actually. So this is how Splunk stands out. The point here that we have to understand is, Splunk is a licensing tool as well. Okay, if you are using Splunk in your project, definitely there is a license bought by your management. Okay, so that license may be for I mean, maybe for 3 months or 1 year or 2 years. It depending on the business requirement, they will buy the license from the client, from Splunk basically. Okay, so they will use that. That licensing part I will tell you later. We will try and understand how it actually works. Okay, this is one small thing. And we also have this is overview. We already spoke yesterday, like overview of Splunk. You can just here, you can feed the machine data Splunk with which does the data processing. Once it process and extract relevant data, we have below benefits. All these are the benefits. We discussed these, like, it will analyze the system performance. Troubleshooting, there are a couple of scenarios in troubleshooting. We will understand all of them going forward. And monitor business metrics. And also you have search and investigate particular outcome. That means if you are getting any specific results in the Splunk environment using search head, generally you search data using search head, right? So you can get the particular outcome. Create a dashboards to visualize, analyze results, and store, retrieve data for later use. If you have something, I mean, to store or use it for future, you can do that. It helps as a data storage as well, because indexer is where you store the data, right? And apart from this, here you have all the sources like the data we are getting. Okay, data is everywhere these days. As we discussed, data will be coming from computers, network devices, virtual machines, internet devices, communication devices, sensors, databases. Okay, so data is everywhere. I mean, data is producing all these sources basically, and it is also there in the form of logs, configurations, messages, call details, records, clickstream alerts, metrics, scripts, changes, and tickets. Changes in the sense CR. In you might have heard about change requests. Okay, service now or somewhere you create tickets, you create incidents, you create change requests. There also you have data. Now basically all these are the sources that data available. Okay, very very important to understand what kind of data it is. Okay, so that is one thing. And now this one, it is actually, if you see here, what is, yeah, what is Splunk? Okay, now one more thing, straight understanding, straight definition about Splunk is, if anyone asks you in any interviews or any one of you, because you are learning Splunk, so basic thing, I mean, like, you should know what how to explain about Splunk. Splunk is basically a log management tool. First point, I'm just giving you for your understanding. Splunk is a log management tool, first of all. Second, you can say that Splunk is the ultimate log collection and data analyzing tool. Splunk is the ultimate log collection and data analyzing tool. We use Splunk to analyze the machine data. We use Splunk to analyze the machine data. Give me a minute here. I will just give you that definition. What is Splunk? I can just I would have just given you the verbal definition, but I felt like if I can write and show you here, it will be useful to you whenever you look at this video. You can learn this definition.
Yes.
Okay, basic question. What is Splunk? देखो, Splunk is okay. Let's say that yeah, just understand that it's a log management tool. Okay, and also Splunk is the ultimate log collection. Splunk is, oh, where is it going? Okay, okay, yeah. Splunk is an standard definition. It is a standard definition, and yeah, let's not read as a definition, but let's try to understand this. Splunk is an ultimate log collection. It collects the logs also, basically. Log.
Yes, log in the sense we are talking about the data source here.
Exactly. See,
Mm,
when it comes to Splunk, right, data,
mm.
particular data will be there in the log file format. Data
Okay.
will be there in the logs format. Of course, data will be coming from different sources actually, but it will be in the logs format. It is
Okay.
exactly in easy language, as you rightly said. You can say that it's a data, nothing but. As a technical
Okay.
term, we use in security, like you have data security, right? Cyber security language, you can
Yes.
say
Yes.
logs. Yeah,
Okay.
collection and not only data. I mean, let's not we should not fix it is data only. It's like a group: data and unstructured data, structured data, log files and any file formats, everything comes under this data. That
Okay.
in group we can communicate it as logs. It's kind of, yeah, log is a different thing, but yeah, ultimate understanding you can take it like that.
Okay.
Okay, Splunk is an ultimate log collection and data analyzing tool. Okay, we use Splunk to analyze the machine data. What is the use of Splunk? Simple one line answer is we use Splunk to analyze the machine data. Now, why do you analyze? What is the necessity of analyzing the data? Because unless you analyze what is there in data, you will not be able to get required results or particular outcome. So that is why you will analyze the data. Okay, Splunk is an ultimate log collection and data analyzing tool. We use Splunk to analyze the machine data, basically machine data or unstructured data, any kind of data. We use Splunk to analyze. I'm sorry, my keyboard is not working, systems keyboard, so I had to use this virtual keyboard actually. Look at that. Yeah. Analyze. We use Splunk to analyze the machine data. Okay, so just easy understanding. Splunk is the ultimate log collection and data analyzing tool. We use the Splunk to analyze the machine data. This is about Splunk. Just kind of a definition, I would say that. Okay, and apart from that, see here. Apart from that, what is Splunk? It can report and analyze. Okay, it also helps us to report any kind of reports, right? We create reports also, that kind of reports, or any alerts also. You can create reports, alerts, and you can analyze them as well. Okay, all these things we will understand when we install Splunk. I will show you everything, don't worry. But as of now, just have a look at this. It will monitor, okay, alert, we all know. And also it add knowledge. And basically there is some data which you have to add to your systems, or to understand how it works. Actually you can do that. Search and investigate, of course we know this. It will you will search the data and investigate a particular outcome. And also it is used to index data. Index is nothing but store the data, or retrieve. Basically you can save it based on your to use based on your requirement. Data will be indexed, that is storage. Now it also acts as application management. It also acts as a operations management, and also security, compliance, and so on. Okay, and one more answer you can tell that: aggregate, analyze, and get answers from your machine data. Using Splunk, you can aggregate, analyze, and get answers from your machine data. If you have any machine data which you're not able to get the accurate required result, you can do that using Splunk. Basically, that's what it is. Now, there you go. Now, what Splunk can do? Okay, let's understand. I've been talking about machine data. Splunk is super, and this is doing very good in the market. All that. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, and what actually it does? Okay, what actually it does, we will anyway see it practically going forward. But if you see here, it is a log collection or log management software, or a tool, you can say. Splunk is a log collection or log management tool. and also it is a infrastructure monitoring tool. It is also a infrastructure monitoring tool and application performance monitoring tool. This is all, it's kind of verbal things. You can read it actually. I'm sure you will be able to understand, just if you just read it, but I'm just giving you the idea. Okay, so it is log collection or log management tool, and also infrastructure monitoring tool, and application performance monitoring tool, and big data. It is also used in big data. Okay, depends on if they need it, they can use it in SIM, security information event management. Okay, all these comes under SIM. Like IBM QRadar is one of the SIM tool. Okay, HP ArcSight, SolarWing, Logarithm, all these are the couple of SIM tools available in the market. Now it is also used as a operation intelligence for your data. Basically, if you have a specific data, you can use it as a operational intelligence and Google for your data. Why I'm saying Google for your data is because when we install Splunk, I will show you that when we install Splunk, how you search data in Google, you type something and you hit on search, right? So similarly, in Splunk also, if you want any result, you can just type the data, type the index name and the particular index equals to, give that index name and host name. If you give that, you will get the result basically. So that acts as a Google for your data. Splunk acts as a Google for your data. So these are a couple of things which Splunk does. If you get question, okay, I'm learning this thing, mm, machine data and all that. So what Splunk will do basically? These are all the things it
So,
will do.
yeah, I
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
question. So, what
please.
we when we are saying infrastructure monitoring tool, where
Mhm.
we are referring here infrastructure?
Infrastructure in the sense, in Splunk specifically, you have infrastructure, you can call it as, or architecture basically. When maybe in
Okay,
next class or this class, in Splunk, infrastructure is nothing but you have forwarders, indexers, search heads. Okay, there
okay,
are 7 components including all of them. It is infrastructure for Splunk, specifically for Splunk. So
okay.
basically it performs on all these things: forwarder, indexer, search heads, deployment server, deployer. All the I'm not telling you now because it will not be able to.
Okay. Yeah,
I
yeah.
will tell you that later. Okay.
Okay,
So it actually acts on that infrastructure where we have all components. I will tell you that.
okay, okay,
Now, one more thing, if you see here, different products of Splunk. Okay, we have some other products also in Splunk, like you have Splunk Lite, Splunk Cloud, Splunk Enterprise, Hunk Premium Apps. Premium apps, though, you have all these Splunk ES, ITSI. You can just go through it. The point here that I want to highlight is, see, there are a couple of things like Splunk Lite, Splunk Cloud, Splunk Enterprise. These things we are learning is, what we are learning is Splunk Enterprise basically. Splunk Enterprise, Splunk Cloud, there is no much difference. Just there is an interface difference, but it is all the same. We are learning Splunk Enterprise. Splunk Lite is a older version basically. Nobody is using it now. It's like Nokia 1100 phone, right? Nobody is using it now. It's very older version. Similarly, Splunk Lite nobody is using. Everybody is using Splunk Enterprise. Some they are using Splunk Cloud. There is no difference between these two actually. Just an interface. We'll tell you that also. We'll show you once we install Splunk. Okay,
okay.
good, right? We are good till here. No questions,
Yeah,
I think. Okay, cool. Okay, so quickly we'll say this enhanced solutions. There is nothing much we can do here actually. It's a you just have to read it and learn. I'm sure you'll be able to understand. What are Splunk enhanced solutions? Enhanced solutions are nothing but Splunk IT Service Intelligence, ITSI. It is a next generation and monitoring analytics solution for IT operations. Uses machine learning and event analytics to simplify operations and personalize problem resolution. So, I mean, to be frank, this is kind of kitabi definition you say, right? In Google, you can just go through it. Just understand what IT service intelligence. And similarly, Splunk Enterprise Security, it is also security tool. And then Splunk User Behavior Analytics, UBA. I'm not going to detailed explanation. You can just go through it. All right. So now if you just see here, see how Splunk works. Basic thing, like basic diagram, how it works actually. What we have to understand from this diagram is at the bottom, you see Splunk forwarders. At the bottom, all of them, you see Splunk forwarders. So one more what do you call shortcut I would say here, which is forwarder, which is indexer, which is search head. Okay, you will be able to understand looking at the image. Actually, see at the bottom you have all forwarders, right? You see the symbol, you see the image. Okay, it is forwarding
Yes.
basically friend. Okay, these forwarders always in this format, I mean in this type of shape. Okay, forwarder images are like that. And if you little bit up, if you see Splunk indexer, you have indexer is nothing but you have data stored. Data is there, it is stored, so it is indexer. Above that you have search head. Data, which is whatever the data stored, there you are searching it. There is some symbol of searching, right? Maybe kind of a mirror sort of thing. So that is searching basically. So this is, for your understanding, I'm giving you this explanation. Okay, so forwarders, always remember you have more forwarders in the environment, because you more forwarders, more indexes. It depends on the infrastructure. Okay, it is definitely more than one or two, but it depends on the infrastructure. Forwarders, indexers, search heads. This is one thing. Okay, forwarder, indexer, search head.
Okay. So, what do you mean
Hmm.
by forwarder here?
Yeah, forwarder is one of the Splunk component. Okay,
Okay.
a very important Splunk component. Forwarders are basically used to get the data from client machines.
Okay.
Okay, let's say you have in your environment, you are working in one project. Okay, what is the basic requirement is they will ask you to get the data from client machines, or sometimes what happens, you will have data from client machines. That data always be coming using forwarder, basically through forwarders. You will
Okay.
take data from forwarders, or if you want to receive or send the data, you use forwarders. Basically that data
Yeah.
will be there in indexes.
Okay. So basically, it's a command, right?
Yeah, it's kind of
A
it's
command.
not
Okay.
actually command, it is not exactly command, but it works as a data transformer, I mean
Okay.
sending and receiving basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now if you see here, normal understanding, let's forget about Splunk. Okay, forget about Splunk anything. If you see this diagram in any environment, okay, first phases, there are phases in data everywhere. Okay, irrespective of Splunk or any other tool. Okay, there is a format of data, like first phase is always data input phase. Data input phase, because it is the very initial phase of the data. Though it is a client machine, though it is a user machine, whatever, initial phase, it is always at the data input phase. Okay, initial phase is always data input phase. From there it will be parsing. Next phase is parsing. What is parsing? Is nothing but Parsing is nothing but filtering. For our understanding language, I'm telling filtering. What is filtering now? Let's say you have taken data from the data input phase initially. Okay, now in parsing phase, what you doesn't know what kind of data you have taken. Data आपको आ गया, आपने ले लिया, you doesn't even know what is this data, I mean is it useful to me, or whatever the data I got, is it a structured data, or is there any spelling mistakes in the data? You doesn't know. You got a data, you have taken it. Here in parsing phase, what happens is all these kind of unwanted data will be deleted. Not deleted exactly. In parsing phase, whatever the data you need, whatever the data is good to use, it will be going to indexer. Whatever the data is not correct, or any spelling mistakes, or any unstructured data you have, it will be kept aside, and you will work on it basically later. That is a different story. Point that I'm trying to make here is, in the parsing phase, data will be filtered. Okay, data will be filtered. After filtered, whatever you get a good, the data which is good to use will be going to indexer. Okay, and then it will be searching, it, search at phase we will search the data. And now if you see here, data input phase you will be using forwarder. Okay, data input phase में हम forwarders use करते हैं, only forwarders. Now in indexer, you, there are two things happens: parsing happens and indexing. These two are happening in indexer level. Parsing, not, I'm not making it complex, just keep it simple. Initially data is, first phase of data is data input. From data input it will be going to the next phase, right? Before that go to indexer, before the data goes to indexer, here parsing will happen. What is parsing? Parsing is nothing but data will be filtered. After it goes to index, it after it is indexing, it will be searching using search head. Now in the first phase, whichever I said data input phase, there you have forwarders. Basically forwarders will be coming into picture in the data input phase. In parsing and indexing phase, in these two phases, indexer will be coming into picture. Using indexer, in the indexer you will be parse and index. And finally you can search the data using search head. This is where searching will be coming into picture. So this is basic understanding, very important, I would say, to understand how data flow goes into Splunk components: forwarder, indexer, search head. Now one thing is, entire course that we will be learning, okay, depends on forwarder, index, all the Splunk components. 7 components we have, I said, right? So it's always important for us to learn all of them. You get up early morning, instead of listening to any music, let's have these forwarders, so that you remember it forever. Whatever we are trying, let's give 100%. So that important it is, basically. Okay, now, yeah, as I said, see, basically we should understand, buddy. Okay, forwarders kya hota hai, indexer and search head. Once you understood the reason and the nature of all of them, now you go to Google, just type for what is forwarder in Splunk. You will see definition differently. You're getting it, right? What I'm trying to say, you will get some technical words included in the Google definition, but before that we have to understand what forwarder does, what indexer does, and what search head does. Once you understand that, whatever the definition you get in Google, you can understand and go for it. अब देखो, let's say if the question asked you in the interview, explain about forwarders, you cannot just say forwarders are used to forward the data, receive the data. Yeah, it is the absolutely right answer, but you have to expand it little bit, right? You should, interview ऐसे होता है, to be frank, it is not how much you know, it is just how you convince him, actually. Okay, so you add something and answer that question. So that's why it is, that is how it is. All right, so we know what forwarders are. If you see here, forwarder, Splunk enterprise instance that consume send data to index, require minimal resource and have little impact on the performance, typically reside on the machines where the data originates, primarily where data is supplied to indexing. Where data, in the sense, initial data will be supplied to the indexer before indexing. You see here also you can see forwarder going from data, from the forwarder data going to indexer. This just, it is kind of a machine data. Whatever the data you have, it is just transferring to indexer. Just an example. Okay, let's not get more into it. If you don't understand, that is very much fine, no problem. Indexer ka definition, if you see here, process machine data, storing the results in indexes as events, enabling fast search and analysis. यहाँ पे आपको indexer है, और you have raw data and the data. There are two types of data, like same kind of a data, just it is dividing raw data and indexed data. From indexer, the what do you call, the black one that you see here is an index, basically. As indexer index the data, indexer indexes, remember this. Okay, one indexer, uh, multiple indexes. Okay, one indexer can have multiple indexes, basically. It creates a number of files organized in a sets of directories by age. Age in the sense the time, since how long the data is present in that particular environment, it depends on that. It will be calculated depending on that. Now this one, search head, we know what search head does. Simply it will search the data. If you want to expand it more with as far as the definition is concerned, allow users to use the search language to search indexed data, distributes user search requests to the indexes, consolidates the results, and extract field value pairs from the event to the user. Yeah, these things. And knowledge objects, search heads can create, extract additional fields, and transform the data without changing the underlying index data. This is about search head. Okay, just read it. Okay, just read it. Let's try and understand that. Okay, so that is it. Maybe it is theoretical. I'm sorry for that, but yeah, a couple of classes, like first 5 6 classes, it will be theoretical, but very important to understand. Now, what we are discussing is just I'm trying to give you overview on this. And then you have another four I said, right? They are license master, license master, cluster master.
So these are also components, yes.
Yeah, exactly. TER, cluster master, deployment server. Total seven. That's why I said. I will
Okay.
explain you all of them. Don't worry. Deployment server, and deployer. All these we will actually do installations, everything in future once we get into Linux and all that. Okay, we'll don't worry at the moment. Don't worry about it. Let's understand. Let's concentrate on understanding these components first. Oh, why ER? Okay, so these are Splunk components. Basically, entire Splunk course runs on these components. They few people they call it as Splunk architecture. What is a Splunk architecture? Explain. Okay, you have to talk about all of these: forwarder, indexer, search head, license master, cluster master, deployment server, and deployer. Okay, these things. Forwarder, indexer, search head, we spoke about these things. In the next class I will talk about other Splunk components. I don't want to go more explanation because it is going to be huge theoretical, and that too there is a lot of explanation to be given to these components. So I don't think it is useful if I give it now. Already it is some theoretical, so it may go above your head. So I will not take it now. So I will stop it for today. Okay, we'll stop it for today. We'll continue in the next class. If you have any question, if you did not understand anything today's class, just ask me. We will repeat it again, not a problem at all. Otherwise, anyway, I'll be sending this video to you, recorded video. Spend your time, understand, and write down your questions. We'll discuss questions in the next class. Not that way also we can do. Anything is fine. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I think if no questions, we are good to close. We'll drop off. I will send the recorded video to you, to your email ID or WhatsApp. Please go through it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fine then. We'll meet in the next class. Huh? Chalo, we'll catch up.
Yeah, sure.